So big news today, Supreme Court overruled Colorado and Maine, forbidding those states from removing Donald Trump's name from the presidential ballot. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So the left hates Trump, and it's going to use every mechanism it can to try to destroy the man. And I mean that literally. They'd like to see him dead. They would. It's just that level of hatred is, I've seen it before. I've seen it on the right, too, but now it dominates the progressive left. So last year, Colorado and Maine said, nah, we're not going to put Donald Trump's name on a presidential ballot against Joe Biden because Trump led the insurrection on January 6th. Okay. So that was, number one, a denial of Donald Trump's due process. He's not been convicted of insurrection, nor has he been charged. Okay? The special counsel, Smith, is basically saying there was a conspiracy to invade the Capitol and Trump was involved. It's all bull, and it probably won't get anywhere. But anyway, this one is the ballot question. So Colorado actually went through a process where it's very, very left-wing courts say, yeah. We don't need due process here in Colorado. No, we'll just take them off. And then in Maine, it was one woman. I'll get to her in a moment. And they said, this woman, she's not going to be back. Now, in January, on the 9th, that was 2 months ago, right? Here's what I said. Go. The Supreme Court is going to overturn Colorado and Maine. So to talk about it as a reality that Trump's going to be denied the ballot spot is a waste of time. That's why we don't do it here. Now, I'm not a genius. I've said that before. If you know the Constitution, the Supreme Court couldn't possibly uphold those rulings. And they ruled 9-0. It was a unanimous ruling. Now, it should embarrass Colorado and Maine, but it won't. I mean, those cranks, they don't care. They just throw anything they can at Trump. So, but when you get a 9-0 ruling, you should have, in Maine, an impeachment of the Secretary of State, Shayna Bellows. She should be impeached tomorrow by the Maine legislature. That's embarrassing. Your state has been thoroughly humiliated by one woman, the Secretary of State, Shayna Bellows. Colorado, I don't know what you do. Send all the people from California who moved to Colorado back to California, maybe. I don't know if you could deport them under the Constitution, though. So we always knew this was a bunch of bull, which is why you watch and listen to me rather than watch the national news presentations on cable and network, because those people, number one, aren't smart enough to know what the Constitution says, most of them. They have no blanket idea what the Constitution says, all right? And number two, even if they did, they're not going to say anything that goes against their corporate masters. Now, I'm going to give you the best example I can possibly give you. NBC News, the absolute worst. They're worse than ABC and CBS by a long shot. They run MSNBC, the cable operation. Here's what two of their pundits on MSNBC said about the ballot stuff. Go.
They have what they need to make the ruling, and there's nothing anti-democratic about saying insurrectionists need not apply, and it's in the Constitution.
Colorado trial court found as a matter of fact, after a trial on the merits, a trial at which several witnesses testified, expert witnesses, witnesses who were at the Capitol that day, found as a matter of fact that Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection.
That's just a lie. Okay? There was no defense put up in Colorado. Trump's people didn't have any access to go in and talk to the courts there. There wasn't any trial. A trial, you have a defense. All this was we don't want him on a ballot. We're going to bring everybody who agrees with us in to Denver. That's what happened. This guy, that guy's name is Glenn Kirshner. He's a former prosecutor, whatever that means. The first guy, former U.S. Attorney Harry Litman, He says there's nothing anti-democratic about saying insurrectionists need not apply. Well, who's the insurrectionist? He hasn't been charged with that. Now, these guys get paid to spout this propaganda. If they were to come on and say, hey, there's nothing to this and the court's going to rule 9-0 and throw it out like I did, they wouldn't have a job at NBC. They never get on the air. You see how corrupt this is? These are mouthpieces. And this is all my opinion. Okay? I don't think I'm wrong. All right. Now, where do we go from here? So the Supreme Court understands, even the liberal judges. Remember, Sotomayor, Kagan, Brown, they all said, look, the individual states cannot interfere with a national vote. You can't just do what you want. And doesn't that make sense? A fifth grader would get it. Federal government, okay, has the responsibility in the executive branch. That's not a state thing. Executive branch is the presidency, okay? The legislative branch is Congress. The judicial branch is the courts, the federal court. The states can't intrude on that. I'm sitting there going, these people have no blanket idea about the Constitution or how our country is structured. Federal law trumps state law. So yes, you can legalize marijuana, and 24 states have. But if the DEA makes a case against somebody smuggling marijuana from Mexico into the USA, they'll bust that person no matter what state he or she is in. And the state can't do anything about it. You could apply that to immigration law too. And the left is doing that because they don't want Texas to put up its own barriers. So here's the hypocrisy of this whole thing. The progressive left supports, okay, states taking Trump's name off the ballot. However, when the Supreme Court kicks Roe v. Wade abortion back to the states to decide in each of the 50 what will happen, what the law will be, progressive left doesn't want that. Oh, no, we can't have that. Can't have the states making its own decision about abortion, but we can have the states make their own decision about Trump on the ballot. Come on. It's unbelievable. And that's a memo. Kamala Harris stepped up to talk about Gaza. Roll that.
The immense scale of suffering in Gaza, there must be an immediate ceasefire. For at least the next 6 weeks, which is what is currently on the table.
All right, well, you can agree or disagree with the vice president, but she has no authority to say anything. And of course, Israel's not listening to her. I applaud the USA and other countries for dropping humanitarian supplies to Gaza, by the way. I think that's excellent. They're airlifting supplies. You can't land, and no airstrips to land on, but they're parachuting supplies down. That is what should happen. Behind the scenes, if I were president, I would basically tell Netanyahu, look, the time for mass destruction is over now. We will help you pinpoint where these Hamas leaders are. Our intelligence agencies will work with you, Mossad, to track them down. But the time of bombing and destroying everything, that's over. Major statement, and you were justified in doing it. But now we have to shift into phase 2, which is a methodical track down. That's what I would do. Not insult the Israeli government by going, you have to cease fire for 6 months or what. I mean, 6 weeks, I think she said. She doesn't know what she's saying. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank No Spin News viewers for the continued support and to say thanks. They're offering 50% off their best prices on overstock, clearance, and even new products. Right now, get 50% off the My Pillow 2.0, their brand new flannel sheets, or their 6-pack towel sets. They offer free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers that are 100% made in the USA. Everything is on sale. Kitchen towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and much more. So please go to mypillow.com, use the promo code BILL, or call 800-869-0298 for free shipping on your entire order. That's 800-869-0298, or go to mypillow.com, promo code BILL. Okay, so suddenly the Biden administration doesn't like sanctuary cities. After 3 years, no. Roll the tape.
We firmly believe that if a city is aware of an individual who poses a threat to public safety, then we would request that they provide us with that information so that we can ensure that that individual is detained if the facts so warrant.
What a phony. Where were you for 3 years and 2 months? Why, you just ran wild with sanctuary cities and Biden. Ugh. Now, all this is because of Laken Riley, 22 years old, murdered by an illegal alien, allegedly. He has to have due process. She was buried on Friday. No media, no cameras. But the minister who said the service at the Woodstock Church in Georgia said this: Laken was special. She was a gift to anyone who knew her. Smart, kind, compassionate, and thoughtful. Don't even begin to scratch the surface. She was a loving daughter, sister, and friend. She had a gift for making anyone she was around feel comfortable and seen. But the most special thing about Laken was her faith in Jesus. So even the dimmest American knows now about Laken Riley and how she should be alive today, and it isn't because of the open border and sanctuary city policies. There is no dispute to that. Okay, the progressives can't say, no, that's not true, O'Reilly. That's the truth. If we had a well-policed border and the Remain in Mexico policy, and there were no sanctuary cities, Laken would be alive. And thousands of others would be alive too. Hundreds of thousands if you count the drug addicts killed by the fentanyl. But we don't, because of the Biden administration, period. Media. This is a very interesting story you'll hear nowhere else, and we are proud that we can bring you stories like this. So, on MSNBC, there you go, all right, a woman named Heidi Przybilla, who is a Politico correspondent, went on the air and said this, go.
But the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalists is very different, is that they believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God. The problem with that is that they are determining men, are determining what God is telling them.
Okay, so this is the mantra of the progressive left, that there is no supreme being, okay, none, and that all our rights come from people in Washington or in your state capital. That the Declaration of Independence, which is written because the founding fathers believed there was a central force in the universe that wanted men to be free and women wanted human beings to be free. We didn't believe. That's why they crafted the Constitution, to give individuals maximum freedom. That woman doesn't believe that. Okay? Doesn't believe that there's anything, you know. And if you believe it, you're an idiot. Okay? It's the Bill Maher secular approach. You're a fool if you believe in any higher power. All right. So there's a guy that we've had him on No Spin News, Bishop Robert Barron out of Minnesota. He pretty outraged about this. Roll it.
I think it came out last night. Heidi Przybilla from Politico was on MSNBC. It was one of the most disturbing and frankly dangerous things I've ever seen in a political conversation. She's going after what she calls Christian nationalism, but what she said was there are these Christian nationalists out there who are claiming that our rights don't come from any, human authority. They come from God. So can I just say that in their enthusiasm, I suppose, to go against so-called Christian nationalism, they're actually going against the foundations of our democracy. And it's a further evidence of this extreme hostility of the left now toward religion.
Can't say it any better. I'm so happy we have, there's two things I'm happy about today. That we have Bishop Robert Barron, who will speak out, because most Catholic clerics will not. They're afraid. You're not going to hear anything from them publicly. He will. And that the Supreme Court was unanimous, 9-0, in upholding what the Constitution actually says. Those two things today have made me happy. Smart Life, one of our most popular segments, because it's all about you. Not about me, about you. So there is a new study in American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. I have a subscription, and no, I don't, but I get information from everywhere. So the study, American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, says drinking just 2 12-ounce cans of soda a week nullify exercise that you would do that week. Okay? Is that at Quebec City, up there in Canada? 100,000 adults over the age of 30. So you can work out like an animal. But if you drink 24 ounces of soda, flatline. Now, I believe that. And one of the reasons I believe it is the unbelievable rate of diabetes in America. 37 million people are diabetic. And it's far more than that, because a lot of people don't even get diagnosed. They don't go in for the blood test. And in addition to the 37 million, which is 11% of the entire population having diabetes, you got pre-diabetes, which is another 50 million. People are just right on the edge because they're slugging down the sugar drinks. This is the worst, okay? You can have ice cream and your candy and pie and cookies in moderation. But if you're blasting down those sugar drinks, and that's iced teas, that's energy drinks, just look at the label on how much sugar is in these things. You're destroying your immune system. You're destroying it. And it should be on a par with tobacco, but the food companies are so powerful that they have crushed that down and people don't know, which is why the population of the USA is so obese. Because people just don't know this. And that's why I'm on this jag. Now, I drink a beverage called sparkling ice, okay? I don't drink a lot of it, but if I have, a meal or something like that and I don't want water or, unsweetened iced tea, sparkling ice, no aftertaste. It has a sweetener in it. No aftertaste, and it's pretty good. Now, I don't have any interest in sparkling ice company. I'm just telling you what I do. I never drink, shouldn't say never, rarely drink sugar-laden beverages. I mean, because it's a killer. Smart Life. Oregon, now, 2020, they voted to legalize hard drugs. You could walk around with heroin and fentanyl, cocaine, whatever you want, methamphetamine. Nobody's going to bother you. It's been a disaster. All right? So November 2020, Oregon passed, do whatever you want, you drug addicts. Okay, yearly fentanyl overdoses in Oregon grew by 1,500% since the law. 1,500%. Between 20 and 22, overdose deaths in Oregon increased by 75%, violent crime by 17%. Oregon is the second highest substance disorder rate in the nation, next to Montana. Montana is methamphetamine heaven. Okay, so now the pinheads in Salem, the capital of Oregon, say, we're going to walk it back. But they won't enforce it. I guarantee you they will not enforce it. So if you got heroin and fentanyl and all that, you're going to, I don't know what's going to happen to you. because I know the Portland, Oregon police won't enforce it. And the governor, who is another ridiculous person, Tina Kotek, is going to sign and get that hard news legalization out of there. Hard news, hard drug legalization. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Okay, here's the final thought of the day. So I mentioned this earlier, I turn on Newsmax or Fox or whatever, and I don't sit there for the whole shows. I don't have time. But once in a while, I just cruise to see what's happening. 100% we hate Biden. Now, there are certain people who don't participate in that, but that's what it is, okay? And then the others, we hate Trump. Okay. Now, I am so negative toward Joe Biden that I'm sitting there going, am I in the same category as these people? I think Biden's the second worst president, and I back it up in confronting the presidents of all time. That's how bad he is. Because he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the poor girl in Georgia. And he does inexplicable things to hurt the country. I just can't. And I back it up, but it's negative against Biden. And I'm going, I don't want to be boring here. And I'm looking, once in a while he does something okay, like trying to get the drug prescription costs down. But he's just, Anyway, I want you to know that I am aware of this, and I'm thinking about it. I'm not going to be fair because I don't want him to be president anymore. He's hurt too much. He's hurt the country. Not going to be fair to guys hurting the country. Be like you being fair to some neighbor who's coming over throwing Molotov cocktails at your house. Well, I got to be fair to him. Jeez. All right. I had to get that off my chest. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.